Okay, here goes. First video, not a pro YouTuber, first time YouTuber, but love YouTube as a resource and I've used it a ton for toys and reviews and learning a lot from a lot of cool people that do cool things. And I've watched a ton of videos about garages specifically and doing cool things in garages. So I thought I would just do something to see if it presents any value for anybody out there that happens upon this video, to just walk you through. This is kind of my own personal cool space that I've done that I enjoy with my kids. We're a toy family, play together, stay together, and we play together a lot. So I'm just gonna take you through the garage and hopefully don't attract any haters because total novice at this, but the thought is just to give you some ideas for your garage builds. If you see stuff along the way that you'd love some further video on, reviews on specific toys or some of the products that I've used, or just leave some comments and I'll try and tackle them. But this is a detached garage that I built with the house. It's a 40-foot deep, 30-foot wide. It has a, let's see, a 12-foot by 20-foot overhead on the front. There's a boat that I can show you in the other garage that I pull in and out. I wanted to make sure that I had the height for the wakeboard tower. It's a surf boat. I want to make sure I could pull it in and out without any issue. And then I've got a secondary overhead. I think this one's what, maybe 8 or 10 foot wide and maybe 8 foot tall. And then there's just the walking in man door. So 30 by 40. It does have an open space above. I'll talk you through kind of the access of that. That's going to be the summer project to finish that space. I'm showing you the access to it. It's up above, but I'll show you how I plan to access that. And then that'll be a large studio apartment and office space up above. But this is a play garage. So lots of things in here that might have you scratching your head. And my wife and I are antiquers, so you see lots of stuff that just caught my eye that I've collected over time. And then there's a lot of stuff that I've just built that's kind of fun on my own. And I'm a huge local artist advocate and local craftsman. And so there's a bunch of stuff that I've purchased from local people, as well as I'm a big fan of supporting all those folks on Etsy that promote their own product and try and support those folks that are building cool stuff. So, right next to the man door, you got the 2 garage door openers walking in, all the light switches. When we built it, we built this conduit access space. You can see the panel up above the hot and cold water. That's a panel access, so that if I ever want to run additional access of anything, I can run it up through there. It can access that upper apartment space that I referenced. But it just is a big, clean, open space that you can drop anything through for future build. In the midst of that now is all power, all water, central vac, all of that stuff. But it allows you a nice access. You can see that the conduit channel runs the length of the garage and then pops up into that apartment space above. So next little area here is kind of the workspace. Got an air compressor for everything that you do with that. Got the retractable hose line. Been super happy with that. The accessibility of it. Right next to it, you can see it's an electric power sprayer. Extremely happy with that. Giraffe Tools, you can buy it online. You can buy it on Amazon. Like I say, all electric. Plenty of power to power wash anything. And yet not so much power that I worry about damaging things. But super happy with that product. It comes complete with that retractable. I think it's it's probably a 30 or 40 foot hose maybe. I'd have to check on that. Next to that is kind of a charging station for some of these e-bikes. That one that you see right there, that's the charger for the Sur-Ron X, an electric dirt bike. Super fun. It's kind of a 100cc, 125cc. And we've done some cool stuff with that, where there's a guy in Norway that actually makes custom full-size motocross wheel sets. So this one, we had a wheel set. I say custom because they have to be dished out so that it's offset to fit that sprocket in. But it's been a ton more fun with full-size wheel set on it. but that's the charging station for that. Then of course you just have power, retractable power, 50 foot, run anywhere in the garage, although there's sockets everywhere. Have a e-tron, this is for an e-tron charger, but just what is that, a 220? I think it's a 220, not a 240. Somebody on here can correct me, but I think it's a 220 to charge electric vehicles. So just trying to keep stuff organized. This is another cool product. I'm trying to remember what it is, who makes it. Looks like Adams Polishes Air Cannon. So this is a dryer unit. So I don't use it as much for cars, but I do use it when I'm detailing motorcycles and I just want to blow all the air out of all different areas. Super handy and pushes a ton more air than, say, using an air compressor sprayer. But totally dig that, love that. And then a car lift. This one's an extra long. I think it's like 20, what is it, 22 or 24 foot long, and about 10 foot wide. It's been awesome. It doesn't come, as you car lift pros, you'll know that these center channels are hollowed out. I just built these 2x4 and cheating platforms because that's where I throw the motorcycles during the winter time. When I want to get them just up and out of the way, I'll throw those up there. You can see during the summertime, I made the summertime transition. I've got the snow bikes, the fat bikes, and then like the Jeep top stuff that I don't use during the summer goes up there and gets put away. But otherwise, all of the motorcycles go up there for the winter, and building out that platform allows me to park motorcycles on it, not just vehicles. Although I do use it for like servicing side by side and work like that on occasion, but more so, it's just super handy storage. This one specifically, again, if you want details on brand, Benpack I know is the Primo product. This is a local product, and when I priced it out, this whole unit even installed, come and erected, I think it was like $5,200 or something. So heck of a deal, and I use it a ton. Super happy with that product. I've thrown lights underneath it, just as having those center channels in place blocks a lot of the light, and so it gives me some light down underneath so I don't get the shadows. Some of you are probably wondering, what the heck does he have a swing in here for? So I have 8 kids, all the way from adult kids, a sweetheart wife of 26 years, and I've got kids all the way from 25 down to 10, so about every 2.5 years. So my adult kids come up, and we're up in what they call the Ogden Valley in Utah, in Eden, Utah. My adult kids come up and play with me. But my youngest right now is 10. He actually just turned 11 this week. And when he comes out and hangs out, or my daughter comes out and hangs out while I'm working on something, I threw this swing in just because they like to come and hang out with me, and I want to make it fun for them to be out in the garage with Dad when we're working on stuff, especially if I can suck them into a project and work side by side with them, but also help them to learn stuff. But again, speaking of Etsy, kind of a cool product. This dude takes wine barrels, and he uses them to build out these little rope swings. So kind of a cool concept. Let's see. So without focusing necessarily on toys in this video, lots of fun play toys. You can see, you're probably going, geez, do those ever get used? Everything in here gets a ton of use. I'm a caretaker, so a little bit of a clean freak, and you see everything looks like new because we take care of stuff, and my kids have been really good to help me out whenever we go out riding and playing. We always come back and we take care of whatever the toy is, and it treats us well in return. But that's why everything in here looks shiny and new. In fact, you'll see that I didn't really prep the garage. I probably should have done that before starting the video. You can also see just, I told you I love antiques, a little bit of a collector, love old gas tanks, motorcycle gas tanks, and love these old pewter and lead hood ornaments. So just some collector pieces. This little theme that I've got going, I'll show you in a couple of the garages, but also in some of my gear walls. I think black pipe and barnwood is just a really cool mix. I don't know where I got turned on to that, but you can see I throw up barnwood as a backdrop on a ton of different stuff and use it a lot of different ways. And then black pipe, it's a little bit pricey, but it's just such a cool product to work with, and you can do some fun stuff like that, just to do some cool presentation stuff. Kind of mix up your garage, make it fun. You can also, you'll see some of these decals on the walls throughout the garage. That's some other cool stuff. And you got a bunch of great people on Etsy that can do custom pieces for you. Super affordable. You'd be surprised if you haven't done any of these, the vinyl art. You know, I'd say that motorcycle piece probably cost me 30 or 40 bucks, and it's probably what, 4 or 5 foot wide and 4 foot tall, and fun to put on. My teenagers actually, whenever we do a new wall piece, they're the ones out here with a ladder and putting in the sweat equity to put those things on the wall, and then they end up pretty proud of the product when it's on the wall. It's kind of a memory for them. And you can see all these old car pieces. Again, antique collector, just love old car pieces that have been hung on the wall throughout. So tried to make the garage fun and cool, but also functional. You can do some fun stuff like these these magnet pads to try and utilize all the space in your garage. Plus it makes things super accessible for me. For example, these handles, I had a tough time figuring out where to put them that they're not in the way. Those are the handles that do the motorcycle lifts. And so to take these steel beams and throw magnet pads on to just get stuff out of the way, but in a place where you can regularly use it is kind of a cool thing. Moving over here to, we've got a little bit of a bike maintenance area. Again, probably should have cleaned up a little bit here. Just need to go through the brakes on that road bike. But kind of a fun, forget what brand this is. What is it? Feedback Sports makes these. In fact, this one is, you can throw it in a bag and take it with you anywhere, but super cool bike stand. And you've got the different, you can order those separately, but the tool trays have come in super handy, and you can see I should probably be a little bit more organized with just tossing junk in there. But kind of nice to be able to just have an open space that's well lit, where you can work on bikes, tackle maintenance on bikes, and what have you. So another fun area for just organization, but also it just presents well. These helmet holders, this is a super simple, super cheap project. You can see again my love for barnwood and black pipe, but I just took black pipe, threw some bases on it. I stole that, I can't claim that idea. I stole that idea from somebody, at least the helmet holders, but it's a 2-minute project, fairly simple and easy to do, and looks pretty cool when it's actually on the wall, but completely functional too, to just keep stuff organized and out of the way. That bike frame is one, I cracked it, not even doing anything super cool, but cracked the frame, and Santa Cruz was good enough to warranty the frame. You can see they ended up having to cut the frame actually before they would give it back to me, just to make sure that I wasn't going to take it and reuse it, but they gave me a brand new one, so not a bad deal, and kind of fun to have that as a wall hanger. A little graffiti art. My kids and I collect some Jordans, so that's a neat piece. Got that from a guy in the UK off of Etsy. Put a fun graffiti piece. Again, using black pipe and barnwood to throw stuff up and out of the way. Again, super functional, out of your way, not clutter, but it also just presents kind of cool. Lots of storage. That's an antique box that has its own story that maybe I'll tell you in a different video sometime. Let's see, other functionality. You got a little charging area here. This is primarily for all of the access. I'm a Shimano guy primarily. Well, I'm a SRAM guy. Shimano brakes and like SRAM drivetrains. So SRAM Access has universal batteries. It's one of the reasons that I absolutely love their product, with a little charging station for that, the bike computer, stuff like that. Super accessible, little hanger on the wall here for sunglasses. And yes, you're seeing readers there, because whenever I'm working on stuff, this is my 50th year, turning 50, and I'm starting to need some help with the eyes. Other cool stuff as far as just storage ideas, I use these for bike gloves. You see you've got bike gloves in there. This is an old biscuit canister. Got motorcycle gloves in that one. This one over here have mountain bike gloves. So kind of cool ways to use some of those old products. So I'll show you this drop down in just a second, but what you're seeing here is a mezzanine. This is a group. Again, if you see stuff or hear stuff in here that you'd like more information on, just throw it in the comments. I'm happy to do more content if this has any success whatsoever. But this is one of the coolest things that I've ever purchased and built. So this is by a group called Decor. They're out of Spain. They actually ship it overseas. You get it in like 3 to 6 weeks. It's completely configurable. It's like a giant erector set. You can see where it's bolted together behind the light. Here, let me get out of the light, give you a better shot. So all of these boltings, you can see that like right there, it slides. And then each one of these center beams, you can see that they slide and extend. So right now I have this is a medium, a size medium. I have it at its max width and length, but you can grow these and shrink these. You can see even the height here. You can make this taller or shorter depending on what you want to do. And then what's really cool, got a remote over here. It's got a remote stairway. The kit that you would buy is exactly as you would see it, except for like I stained the stairs black. I did some of that black diamond molding around the top. I'll take you up above and show you where I threw down some laminate flooring. But it just makes a ton of space in your garage if you have the height. And then to have that retractable so that it doesn't eat into your space is just another cool factor. So going up here, the stairs, you can see that's where I just, so that it comes with all the sheeting, it comes with everything, and then I just finished it off with some laminate. For me, it's just extra storage space. Throw bikes up here, throw whatever I want up here to get them up and out of the way. I had wake surfboards and stuff up here. This little black pipe hanger is for wake surf ropes, life jackets, stuff like that. But otherwise, it just gives you a ton more storage space. So, and not too spendy. In fact, when I was looking at finishing the space above, and I originally had a general contractor come in to quote the space, it was like 22 grand to build an internal steel staircase to access that top, which sounds absurd. Steel, I understand, is very pricey right now, but still crazy. This whole mezzanine, including that stairway, and then I have a second stairway that I haven't built yet that will move from the base of the floor here. We'll cut open that space. That stairway will go up to the top. All in, I think this was like 8,600 bucks. But gives you a ton of space. Kids totally dig it. To be able to go up and have a viewpoint of the whole garage is kind of a cool thing. But again, to be able to get all that extra floor space below and above is a pretty cool thing. Just use the remote here to retract it. It's on these big nylon straps. It's pretty heavy. The stairway is pretty heavy, but it's on hinges and super functional. It's pretty awesome. Because it's from Europe and Spain, the motor, you gotta, like, that was a whole project in and of itself to figure out a converter and making it work here in the US. But I finally got it figured out, rewired it myself, was pretty proud of that given the research, didn't blow anything up in the meantime, was pretty happy about that. So it opens up all this floor space. I've done this and selected the size of the mezzanine so that if I ever want to put the boat in, which during the winter I usually pull the boat in this garage, and the boat actually can tuck right underneath the mezzanine so that the wake tower sits flush right up against those handrails. So pretty cool that way. Again, just making effective use of space here up above. Some of the tool cabinets for another bike hanger. You can tell we're motorcycle and bicycle guys. Anything with wheels, usually a motor, but in recent years I've gotten way more into self-motoring stuff. So gravel bikes, road bikes, mountain bikes are a huge hobby. You can see some of these tailgates, antique tailgates, super fun, street signs, old bench that's been refurbed. This is actually about 120 years old right here. This vise, totally functional. In fact, better than the vise that I have in my other garage that is new. But kind of a cool workbench, work table that you don't have to worry about scarring because it just adds additional character to it. So dig that. I don't even know what this old can is, but there had to be one place. I don't have a fridge out in this garage, but I needed something to throw stickers on, so that became the sticker collector. Some surfboards. That side-by-side's on its way out. That's been our plow machine for the last 10 years, and I just need to deliver it next year to a buddy that bought it. He's taking it out to his ranch. Fun new toy here with the Audi e-tron. Super fun, super fast. 0 to 60 in 3.1. I think it's like 646 horsepower. It's quattro all-wheel drive. Super fun car. So this one is one of my babies. This is an anniversary bike. They didn't make a ton of these. A little bit of a collector one for me. And as a result, again, supporting the guys on Etsy, doing some of this custom artwork here. So just some fun stuff. If I was to pick an old bike, an old antique bike, that would be the bike right there. The old BMW R12. Again, some cool vinyl stencil work. Old street light, old street sign. Trying to think of what I've missed in here. This garage is not air conditioned, but it's so well insulated. I never have an issue with heat, even during the summer. We get in maybe the 90s at the hottest up here in the Ogden Valley. It is heated all winter. When we throw the boat in during the winter, I keep the heat at like 40 degrees just so I don't have to winterize the boat, which helps a ton. This garage is fully drained, floor drained, which is awesome because you can come in here during the winter. In fact, both garages, I'll show you the attached garage too, but you can come in and wash cars, wash motorcycles, do whatever you want. And it's kind of a fun time to go through, especially with the motorcycles before I put them up on the stand. Those first couple months of winter, it's kind of a fun time to come out and detail them, get them all cleaned up, be able to do all that in the garage and let it drain out. So super happy about that. Couple that with having central vac in your garages, which is another bonus. And it makes for total accessibility to be able to do whatever you want. So that's the detached garage. You can see that for having a bunch of kids, I don't have a bunch of little kids' bikes in here. So one of the things that I did, this is kind of a fun space, it's a clean space. When we built the place, take you out around the corner here. You're gonna think, gosh, what a jerk, he kicks the little kids out, but actually I give them their own space. So we built a little shed out here, and that shed is cut into 2 halves, well 3 halves. That's a little pool changing area, that door. But this door is for all of the other kids' mountain bikes, golf gear. You can see the snow blowers put up away, because I don't like junky stuff in my garage. You can see I like to keep it fairly clean, a little bit anal. You can see the other half of this shed is more all the lawn equipment, to try and keep all that stuff out of the garage, and like for putting all of your yard furniture away during the winter. If you're ever going to build these big sheds, make sure you do the loft. Super cheap, but awesome space for long-term storage. Super accessible. And then so the kids can come out and ride on the track here behind. We keep the four-wheelers down and outside with the tractor. So a secondary shed that has some of the toys that the kids ride on a more regular basis, so they don't have to deal with getting them all the way out of the garage. I think this is a 18 by 12 shed with a roll-up door on the back. Makes it pretty accessible. So you go from there into the attached garage. Tell you a little secret on building an attached garage. I thought I'd go big, which I went pretty big, with a, I think it's 42 by 44, so you could fit plenty in here. The problem is double stacking cars is not the most effective use of space, because when you want to get one in or out, you've got to be moving one. So for 2/3 of the garage, or 3/4 of the garage, went extra deep, 42 foot deep. Leaves tons of space. The boat back there is a 24-foot boat, but I think it's like tongue to tail on the trailer. I think it's more like 27, 28 feet long. And it gives plenty of space for still having access to the, sometimes I end up putting the tractor in here just for accessibility reasons, but it gives you plenty of space to do that. Let me show you one other thing. If you're a motorcycle guy, these trailers that Kendon Trailers does, these tilt up against your wall. It's a motorcycle, dirt bike, or street bike trailer. And then they just tip over, one arm tip over, throw in then that bottom end of it right here. That piece folds out, and it's a killer way to have a motorcycle trailer that doesn't take a ton of space in your garage. We've got the adventure van, that's, the kids call it the fun bus. That's been our vacation vehicle for a long time. So last thing maybe here I'll show you is just another shot. This is in the attached garage, so just before you go in the house, which has been nice, because when I don't want to go all the way out to the detached, still have a tool center, storage area. You can see still did some fun things with some of the antique stuff, antique tractor and Model T radiator shrouds. So some fun decor like that, but also super functional, mini fridge, kind of a nice space. So one other thing, and maybe I'll do some additional content on this other area that I really get a kick out of doing, and that's gear walls. I've got a couple down in the basement too, but you can do some really cool stuff with having access to your gear so that it's not just thrown down in the basement and junked up, but it's well cared for and presents pretty cool. So these gear walls, this is my split board or snowboard gear wall. And then so this is just all the we do some backcountry touring up here during the winter, ski and snowboard. And this is just all the access for that. So all of the packs and poles and skis, skins, snowboards, all that stuff for an otherwise a little bit cramped space. Makes it super accessible. Again, going crazy with that barnwood. But given that there's a stairway that runs through here, wanted to make sure that we maximize space. And so there's just a little storage closet for stuff. So, gosh, I hope this isn't a horrible video. It's not going to have any professional editing. It's not going to have any cool music. It's not going to have any budget behind the creation of it. All the money went into my space instead of into video making. But I hope that you found some value. If there's anything that you'd like to zero in on or know more about, even if you don't want video content, you just have questions on, hey, where'd you get that? Or how'd you come up with that? Who was the guy that did the dynamite boxes on stands? So that's a little storage box, but these are antique dynamite boxes. Anything that you have questions about, just post below. My name's Jason, and hope somebody out there finds some value, because I appreciate all the good dudes that have put awesome content on the internet with their cool spaces, and I've stolen a ton of ideas from their spaces. So hopefully there's a little bit of play it forward element in here. Otherwise, I am signing out. Thanks, bye.